Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Tom Foster here, the World of Marketing, coming to you from my studio basement. Here interviewing my best buddy, Ben Glass, who is essentially an essential service in his office, right? Is that where you are? That's not your basement.
At my office, we have about half our team is working at home. That has its ups and downs. We actually have clients coming in. We have a 1,100 square foot training center that is the perfect meeting space. Fortunately, Tom, technologically, we were on this and testing systems weeks ago to make sure it worked. Found out where things didn't work perfectly. There's of course ups and downs to all this, and as probably we'll be talking about here is, there are opportunities, and most importantly, I think, how you think about, how you think actually is really, really important. People will come to different answers, and they'll be, for them, for their families and their firms. And this is no doubt really hard for a lot of people. Now, you and I are in Virginia, so it's, we're not mandatorily restricted to our houses. That could come. There are people who can't get to their offices. I get it. I feel bad for the lawyers who were not set up for this at all, and they're out there. And so I think that's a really tough place to be. But the where you don't want to be is, I think, doing this alone, frankly. And so doing calls like this, which I've done about 10 or 12 of since last week, with large groups, small groups, and I think importantly, in mastermind groups that I'm a member of, or I'm a paying member of, right, and hanging out with non-lawyer entrepreneurs from all over the world has been really important for me. So how are you doing?
We're doing one this week with the Titans, right?
Say what?
We're doing one
yeah.
this week.
We already did one,
Yeah.
sort of with them, and then one with Robin's group. And there's something, you're right, there's something coming up. And I think, a lot of what you and I talk about all the time are principles of living, principles of marketing. The best time to have really had these sort of straight for yourself was a long time ago, but the second best time is right now. So either this thing kills us all, I don't think that's going to happen, or we're going to come out on the other side of this. There's going to be just the opportunities. The work in legal is going to be exploding, and there's so many new things.
Yes, exactly right. Yes.
How do you alter a statute of limitations constitutionally, right? Doesn't the defendant have something to say about that? And so you can have all that litigation. You're going to have contract litigation. If you're in bankruptcy, if you're in any of the disability worlds where I play, those claims are going to skyrocket. We are confident. There's hardly any cars driving down the road here in Fairfax, so there'll be some tail off there, but we're opening big cases every day still, again, based on marketing that we did.
People are sitting at home doing research. People are sitting at home thinking. People are like, now's the time to talk to a lawyer about some event that happened, a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month ago or whatever.
And I think there's ways to,
yeah.
I think so we can talk about leadership roles to play, but a big point that I have been making and would make with you here is that we often talk about the consumer who now finds themselves in need of a lawyer. That usually comes about suddenly. They don't even know what they don't know. They don't know how to go. So they're doing research, and they're trying to judge what's good information, what's bad information. And for anyone who thinks that that's like, I've never experienced that, you're experiencing it right now, because we're thrust into the world of immunology and epidemiology and science, and we don't know, and there's shit ton of information out there, some of it good, some of it bad, but mostly we're looking to try to figure out, we human beings are looking to try to figure out what's a reliable source of information so I can make a decision for my family, for myself, for my business, right? And so I think it's a good reminder for what our clients and prospective clients go through every single day when they start their hunt for information, which may or may not lead to their decision, yes, I need a lawyer, and then yes, that lawyer should be you. So it's interesting times. There's a ton of learning in all of this, for sure.
An extremely flexible and pliant response to new learning situations is highly marked.
So what do you say to a classic personal injury lawyer that is used to car accident, reactionary, go to pay-per-click, type in, whatever car accident lawyer and getting these pops? What do you say to these people that are used to that kind of thing?
Well, I think so. The answer depends on part of, do you know your numbers, right? Do you know your business for real? If you don't, this is a perfect time to go and learn your business. Like, what are the numbers? Because if I'm going to make a decision, Tom, on where I spend my next hour, am I going to create content? Am I going to double down on pay-per-click? I know some lawyers who are spending more money on TV and broadcast advertising, right? Because there's opportunity there. A principle is when everyone else is leaning one way, you can lean the other way, and find that. So I would say that, so particularly for the personal injury lawyers, I mean, look, the work you're doing in the cases you're getting this week are from stuff you've done in the past. Your challenge is going to be 9 months from now when the lead's coming in from the fact that no one's traveling today. But it's a perfect time. So there's 3 or 4 things that you can be doing. Number one is, we always talk about the tribe. If you have 1,000 true friends, you don't really need advertising per se. So your positive reach out, I believe, by telephone to your clients. A rule here at Benglass Law is no one should ever call us asking what's going on with their case. So you need to be proactive about that. Number 2, there's a huge leadership vacuum in the country. So Tom, there's nothing like what you and I are doing. There's nothing like that coming from the ABA, the state bar, the trial lawyer associations, or the local bar associations. There's a complete absence. I mean, it's not just like the information they're putting out is bad. There's no information. So they're focused on technology. How do you do Zoom? How do you, provide security? Okay, important. But nobody's doing what you and I are doing with these 10 or so calls I've been on in the last week. And so that's important. My point there is that any lawyer can use this as an opportunity to solidify his relationship amongst his fellow lawyers in the community, and say, hey, I'm putting together a think tank. Let's, I'm PI lawyer, I'm okay, but you DUI lawyer, like, how can I help? What could we do, right? I mean, especially if you understand marketing, you can be the marketing arm for a DUI lawyer. So I would not necessarily go out and try to learn how to be one, right? I think there's risky there. But aligning yourself with one and saying, hey, I'll do your marketing. We'll have some sort of a joint venture relationship where we're going to share in this, right? I think are things that lawyers can think about. And then take that leadership vacuum principle and take it now to your local small biz and say, hey, a lot of businesses are struggling. I found that the best thing to do is to put ideas on the table. It's what truly makes America great, is that we're willing to freely throw ideas down, have them get beat up, rejected, test them, lose, fail, refine them, make them better, lose, fail, refine them. Oh, now we have success. And so you can be that leader to the doctors, the restaurants, the car repair shops, whatever. And I think that'll inure to your benefit when this is over, because we're looking at this as an opportunity to solidify all of our systems, to solidify and to grow our tribe, because we believe that we're coming out of this. It might kill us all. Okay, if that happens, then it happens. Right?
It happens, whatever.
We restart the earth and the dinosaurs come back, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. But it's challenging. And so, man has his superpower is his brain, and he can choose to use it or not. So I play in the field of let's use the brain. And then you can choose to be optimistic and positive or not. Again, I choose to play in the world of optimism and positivity. And I do believe that that's a choice you can make. There's a lot of naysayers out there. Okay, but that's not moving the needle forward, right? What's going to move the needle forward is people thinking about the practice of law in ways we've never perhaps had to think about it before. In looking for these opportunities to, even acquire a practice area. So I would not go learn something for myself, a new practice area, but I would, if I had the opportunity, it was the right opportunity, acquire maybe a bankruptcy practice or something like this. Again, some sort of joint venture there. Um, and it's an opportunity to really make sure your systems are good. It's times of crises, Tom, that really test systems. So, again, several weeks ago, we were testing to make sure all of our electronics would allow us to work from home if somehow the government says we can't even come into this space. And pretty much it does. I'm fortunate that I've developed a team that is diverse, that has, I've got tech people who are awesome, as you know, and so do you. We have a choice. So those lawyers who are, and I hope you haven't heard from many who are closing up, firing everybody. I think that's probably a mistake, because you're going to need people on the other end of this. You need to have known your numbers and to know your business. And I would say this, that one of the things that we've learned to do really well is just the owner does not have to know the answers to all of the questions. But you could say to your team, here's the situation, here's how we make money, what ideas do you have? And even looking at things like, all right, let's keep people employed, albeit maybe at a lesser salary or a lesser number of hours, because in America here, we've tied all our benefits to by being employed, right? And so it really sucks to get laid off. We're fortunate, I think, that we're lawyers, right? We're not running some of these other mandatorily shut down businesses. Restaurants are really struggling. But it is what it is. My calendar is packed, actually, with these calls, with client Zoom calls. We're learning all sorts of stuff.
Well, you've adapted, and not only technically, but your mindset, but you've always been that way. And that's really why I wanted to hear from you quickly, because you're such an inspiration to so many other lawyers and small business, and just people in general, Ben, as always. You said a couple of
yeah, so I don't think I've always been that way, right? It took me a long
you have not, but
many years to learn this. And so the good point is that you can change the way you're
sure.
You change that by what you read, who you talk to, who you associate yourself with, and we, you and I in particular, tend to look for groups where we're associating with and we're investing time, energy, and money into groups that we join and we pay to join, right? Where there's just lots of smart people who think this way. And I just would rather play in that world.
Speaking of, I'm doing a podcast with Mike Capuzzi tomorrow. Speaking of
He's
smart.
on my schedule for tomorrow for something too. So yeah, it's an incestuous group, but
these are the people that are like, hey, we've got to join together and help everybody else and get their head right. Get their head out of this downer.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock news. There's nothing positive. There's no,
right.
I've not seen a single interview of a business owner that says, hey, Billy, you're running a restaurant. You still got people, you're working and you're delivering food. Give me 3 tips that you would say to someone who's maybe struggling with their restaurant. You don't see any of that. And that's a failure of leadership.
Yeah, agree. Well, it's all about sensationalism and body counts. And that's what apparently sells news. And I'd rather speak and talk to positive people about what they're doing. And you're talking about a leadership vacuum, and how busy you are, and about how we need to adapt and change on those small businesses that are shut down by law, like the restaurants and the massage parlors and the nail salons and all these service types of businesses that are just shut down. There's going to be a giant need for lawyers when this is all said and done to help these businesses get back on their feet. And this is, we've talked about this many times. Lawyers, people buy from people they like, and people don't categorize lawyers. I'm sure that you get a ton of calls from all your clients, past clients, friends and family that have tons of questions about things that you don't have nothing to do with, that is not your area of practice. But they go to you because you're a lawyer, and they don't. And so this is the thing that especially right now, for those lawyers that just specialize in DUI, that's what they've done. But hey, you're a lawyer. And whether I'm not saying go become an estate planner and go become, a different kind of lawyer, but you certainly have access to other lawyers that do that. And it's your list, it's your relationship with these people. And it's your responsibility, really, to your past clients and your existing clients and your friends and family to help them right now. People are going to need lawyers more than ever when this is all said and done. Do you agree with that?
And almost any lawyer right now, again, without opening a new practice area, but could open up their metaphorical doors here, right? Digitally a lot, and say, tell me what issues you're having. I mean, just look at the event world, weddings, conferences. I read about kids who had field trips scheduled to DC, and the tour operators aren't refunding any of that. Well, I don't know the answers to that, but I could open my doors and say, send me your questions, send me your contracts. And then if I have the time, I would go and kind of to learn that. Again, this is all about being a leader, because the lawyers who will come out of this well will be those for whom, again, we've restored the respectability of the profession. And so there's just, you don't have to be an uber expert to read someone's contract, do a little bit of research, and at least give them some general advice. And I don't see that yet happening. I don't see a lot of lawyers proactively reaching out. Now, it may be that it's happening and they're going to their mail lists and to their email lists and stuff like that. And it's
we're helping our people do that.
Yeah, if you're an employment lawyer, oh my God, like employment lawyers, this is your time, right? If you're bankruptcy lawyer, this is your time. So I think that there's a lot of, look, there's no doubt this is hard. This is really, really hard, but that's the reality for everyone. We're all sort of playing in the same playing field there.
Well, it's interesting, this business interruption insurance. I mean, that's really, we're seeing more and more of those kinds of lawsuits popping up. There was one that I can't remember his name. I'll share it with you. But it's the French chef that's suing Hartford over this because he's been shut down. Yeah. And another down in Louisiana. And you're going to see more and more of this. And the insurance companies, it's no different than what you deal with. No different than the car accident or the personal injury lawsuits. And the insurance companies, they're providing insurance for these things. There's going to be, these people need lawyers in order to go get what they're supposed to get from the insurance companies. And the insurance companies are going to hide behind this and say, oh, we're overwhelmed with blah, 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 blah. So you need smart attorneys. And it's never going to be like it was. It's never going to go back to, the normal. It's going to be a new normal, and your lawyers need to adapt to that. And the number one thing, especially now, is staying in communication and proper messaging to their list, right?
Absolutely. Right. And again, I encourage lawyers to pick up the phone and call their clients, right?
That was one of the first things that's exactly right. Just say, hey, we're here. Obviously on websites, we're putting banners up. We're like, here's what our hours are.
This is a really good idea. So for those who are your clients in particular, that COVID-19 banner, but now let's take it a little bit beyond this. These are our hours, right? And be sort of proactive. Yes, we have lots of people calling us. Yes, our team, some of them are working at home and they have kids. It may take a little bit longer to get back to you. Yes, use the chat box and the email and the web form and all of that sort of stuff. Because if you look around, most lawyers are going to put that up. Hey, due to COVID-19, our hours.
Right.
And they're not going to think about that kind of positive, marketing message. Now, only do if it's true, of course. But I think there's opportunity now in that banner that's at your site for sure. Again,
Yeah.
because most lawyers aren't thinking about a banner at all. Many lawyers still are trying to figure Zoom out, right? And so there's always this pyramid, and the guys and gals who make the money are the ones that are at the top. And who makes money? And who will get through this? It's the people who are known in their community as being more than just the best family lawyer, PI lawyer, whatever it is, right? They're known for their personality, their leadership, their story. And so, and the good news for those of you who understand what I just said is that 95% of lawyers have no clue what I just said.
Right. And if you can just be a little bit better than them, meaning just message your list. I mean, like, right, add a banner, talk about your availability. You're available to talk to them about whatever. People need to be reassured. There's a lot of people that are sitting home alone that are scared to death. And you're right. They're turning on the news and they're seeing, doom and gloom and body counts, and they can talk. There's a lot of things that you as a lawyer can do right now. Like pull out that estate plan. Oh, you don't have one? Well, now let's work on that. That doesn't require you to go anywhere. You can do it right there over a Zoom call. If you don't have an estate plan, if you don't do that for a practice, partner up with somebody that does, right? Like a guy like Bob Battle, who's strictly DUI, but has got a list that's thousands and thousands of strong, could easily offer that and offer one of his lawyer friends to do the estate plans. There's so many opportunities like that for you. You have those relationships, right? I mean, with other estate planners where you can do that.
We're the marketing arm of several firms in practice areas that we don't actually do the practice.
Right. But so like, I hope everybody heard that, because that is a diamond that you just dropped right there, because it is, you are the marketing vehicle for a lot of these other firms and feeding them, business because of your list, because of your ability to market, even though you're not doing it. And so that should be a message to everybody that's like, oh my gosh, like the car accident cases are drying up, and okay, so maybe that's true. Maybe DUI cases are drying up because nobody's out driving and getting drunk and driving. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you should stop marketing or you should stop talking to your clients. Maybe you should, if you're a DUI person, maybe you should be reaching out to everybody. Hey, let's get that expungement done that you've been, trying to do. I mean, there are so many things that you can do. I'm blown away when I hear, and I have heard this, I've heard it lots of times about law firms that are just laying everybody off and waiting till it's all over, and then they'll turn marketing back on. What do you say to that?
So everybody has to choose what they believe is right for their own life. I guess I say to that, tell me who your best people are. I might need to hire them.
Right. Yeah.
So we cannot be, I don't think, judgmental and critical of that. I would simply encourage people, especially if you've got employees who are relying on benefits and salary, to tap the mind of your team and say, who's got ideas, right? Because again, the leader is not the one with the answers to all the questions. The leader is the one with the best questions. And if you have hired a team to core values and you've trained them and they trust you and you trust them, then there is opportunity there. Not always just jump off the side of the cliff. And again, I don't want to make this sound too trite or acknowledge that it's really hard for some people, but there's a lot harder places and occupations that we're not in. And so we do have control over a lot of things that a lot of other people don't have. And someone's coming out of this, right? I just want it to be us.
Well, it's going to be you. Hey, why don't you show that book again that you're showing at the beginning now? That's one that, now
So,
what is that? Tell me a little bit about this, but obviously I know about it
so,
personally, but why don't you tell the crew about it?
so play left fullback is my response to the 2016 report on lawyer wellness. And really it's my response to the traditional bar's response. The original bar's response to, well, to back up the report said lawyers are depressed and not happy with the profession, and we're all shocked. I said, how could you be shocked unless you're in your ivory tower and you never deal with lawyers, right? It should not be shocking. The response of bar associations and groups was, let's learn to meditate, eat better, and exercise. I said, and in some states, and we're going to require you now to have at least an hour a year of training in wellness, right? So we can play the CLE participation trophy scam, which doesn't require you to learn anything. You just got to show up, right? And now we're going to add to that burden. And my complaint, which I address here, is how come no one's talking about building a better business that's profitable, where you like the people that you work with and you like going into the office on Monday? Because if you've got that, if the business serves the owners, the employees, it'll necessarily serve the client, and then it'll necessarily serve the community. But it's in that order: owners, employees, and clients. If you have that, you are far more likely to be happy with your chosen profession. And so it's a response to that. We've got some pretty, I think, some hardcore attention-grabbing print ads that are ready to roll. And it's all about, I mean, the subtitle is how challenging the status quo will help America's solo and small firm lawyers build better practices, be heroes to their families, and restore America's trust in lawyers. So this book was about challenging the status quo. And as you just said, Tom, the status quo just got changed for all of us.
Well, it's a timely book. You
Yeah,
just were saying at the beginning that you were like, aggravated. It took so long to get done, but it's done now and ready to go.
yeah.
How do people get it?
Amazon,
Go to Amazon.
bookthemillion.com. Go and we've got a couple of reviews. It's trending between number 1 and number 3 in sort of the lawyer business niche over the last couple of weeks. And then
We'll add it to the bottom third here.
yeah, and then actually after you buy the book, go to playleftfullback.com and register the book. We've got some digital goodies for you actually there. So we can enhance the what you're investing, the $15 or $20. I don't even know what it is on Amazon, but it is the right book for the right time. And actually I've taken some of the downtime working on sort of the next book, which is really tips on living life big. Like, what is that? What is it that how do certain people think about life and view life that allows them to always seem to be seeing the opportunity and taking advantage of the opportunity that the universe presents to them? And so it'll be shorter, but I've been working on it. And
I'm sure it'll be
Lord knows
fantastic.
when it'll come out, but
They're all great. They're all great and life-changing. Obviously, you and I have known each other for 20 years now and been partners and best buddies and friends. And we've seen each other through ups and downs, and just the things that you produce and the way I've seen how you have helped lawyers individually over the years and changed their lives and heard it. And so if you have not gotten a Ben Glass book, you've got to get in this world. Great Legal Marketing. You can go to greatlegalmarketing.com. We'll put that down there on the bottom third too. That's a great way to get involved. But you just got to get a mentor like Ben in your back pocket, because he's just changed lives and he's just a great person to talk to, especially when times are down.
That's all very kind. I think
it's true.
You're right. That did cheer me up.
well, so what I've done is I present a philosophy for a living. And so what we say is, read the book, read Renegade Lawyer Marketing. If you like what the philosophy offers you for your life, then come and join us. I'm not going to spend any time trying to sell you or convince you, because again, my philosophy is everyone makes their own decisions, and you are the only one who's responsible for your decisions. But it's pretty cool, and we've attracted, the best thing is we've attracted lots of lawyers really all over the world who have this open-minded growth philosophy, and we share ideas. Again, it's what made America great, is really the sharing of ideas and the debating of ideas, right? And I'd rather hang with those lawyers. And it's a small subset of all of the million lawyers that are in the country, right? But I'd rather hang with them every single day because they make me better. And you just want to always be playing up.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of what you've learned from are not lawyers. I mean, you've learned from other people, Dan Kennedy, just to name one, but you're in these great groups. I fortunately am now involved in one of those great groups. I'm excited at the Titans Mastermind group that we're doing. Thanks. And thank you. Obviously, you're a big part of getting me involved in that. So,
Yeah, it's a principle, like just you got to look outside the legal industry for
right.
good ideas too.
And it's but yeah, I mean, like, it just, what are these other people doing that have created these multi-million-dollar successful businesses, and what can I learn from them and take it into the legal world, in my marketing, in my philosophy, in my systems, and what you said earlier, in my systems, and this is what is helped you and helped others, where other lawyers are just kind of in shock because they're just doing everything the way they've always done it, and the way what you're like the bar tells them to do. Meditate more, maybe some more yoga, and you'll feel better.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. Look, that's important stuff, but it's not a priority. And I just think their answer is wrong. We've proven it over and over again. The other thing, Tom, about joining other people's groups, are you find too that those people that are successful in some realm typically have some part of their life where they're not very successful at. And so you find that they're actually, they're human beings. And what I found most of all is that the most successful people tend to, they're not always famous names, but they really are willing to share with someone who they think will move the needle of the world, right? And so I hate having my time wasted, but I spend a lot of time, as you know, speaking to lawyers who I believe will go and at least try, right? And what we've done at Great Legal Marketing is develop systems for helping any lawyer, like, kind of figure out if I had $1 to spend or an hour to spend in my business, like, where do I go next? And I think that's what our superpower is. We're really good at that. And a lot of what we teach is really like, stop the bad spend, right? let's fill up the holes in the bucket first before we start dumping more leads and cases into the bucket. So,
well, and you've done it all. That's the other thing too, is that you've done it all over the years.
We practice what we preach. And again, bar leadership just is either unwilling to go here, build a better business, or they don't really understand how to build it, or they don't really understand how to communicate that. We've had in the past, we've had our ads rejected by some state bar journals because it talked about profit and money making and, building a life you deserve. And it's crazy, but they go, no, we don't want our lawyers to know. We want them all to be miserable, right? So we can sell medication, I guess. Anyway, I'm sure I'll be like, this video will probably cause me to be drop kicked.
Whatever.
Well,
it's funny that they'll give CLEs for meditation and yoga now, but still they won't give CLEs for marketing.
For practice development,
practice expansion,
building a great team, creating core values, learning how to hire and fire, learning how to be a great manager and leader. Nope, that's all. Nope.
Right.
Can't do that.
Well, they can come to you for that. That's the thing is. So, and I encourage any lawyer. You don't even need to be a lawyer. That's the other thing too, is that, Ben, I'm not a lawyer, but I've learned everything in the past 20 years from you and through the relationships that you've introduced me to, like what I was talking earlier, Mike Capuzzi, who's our first mastermind that you dragged me along to that. I was like, what? I know all about marketing, Ben. That's what I've always done. And man, I mean, that was really the beginning for me.
Made lifetime friends out of that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was where a lot of great people came from that. And that's just that whole mastermind experience. And you're right when you're talking about how everybody brings good and questions to the table. You think, you think this person has it all down. and nobody's got it all figured out. Nobody's got it all figured out, right? And it's such a cool thing when you're like, when you can contribute to that as well.
Yeah.
But I encourage anybody that is like, well, what do I do? To reach out to Ben. Can they send you an email? How do you want them to do that?
Send me an email, but here's the emails I like best, right? Is I've read the book. I've downloaded
Go get his book. Yeah.
I've watched the videos, right? Because now you have some investment. So the emails I don't like are, hey, tell me the 3 things I should be doing with my practice right now.
Right.
I haven't even taken the time to invest $20 to go because there's a ton of stuff in the books, right? So that's, in my view, that's the time waster, right?
Yeah, go do your research on Ben Glass. That's really all you do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Friend me on Facebook. You probably get to see the 8 puppies that we fostered this week, and they're going.
You're nuts. You're nuts.
Well, we have 7 people in the house right now, right? So it's been fun, right?
You're
German Shepherd puppies.
They're cute. Hey, how old are they?
They are, well, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 weeks old. They're kind of big. They're great. But we've had people. So we work in an organization that rescues dogs. We had a litter of 8. I think 1 left yesterday. 3 others are taken. Now they're going through the process of adoption, and it gives my kids something to do, right?
Well, Charlotte told me to talk to you about one, so maybe we'll do that offline.
We should live as gentle puppies, frolicking, softly tumbling against each other.
Brother, I know you're busy and you're lined up. You're a pretty popular guy, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and to all of our people. Everybody, this has been Ben Glass, one of the best marketers, one of the best people on the planet, one of my best friends. Ben, thank you so much for taking the time.
So kind.
This is the World of Marketing with Tom Foster here from the home studio. Ben, great job. Talk to you soon, buddy. You take care.